So I've been trying to film this video for weeks now, and the weather has just either been hammering down with rain or we've had so much thick fog that it's just not been safe to hack out. Basically, what I'm going to be looking at today is how accurate the Equilab app is. And I'm just going to be focusing on the distance side of it today, not the gait analysis or anything like that. I'm going to be comparing it to my Garmin watch and the Adidas running app, which I've used for a long time. I also use an app called Footpath to plot out all my routes, so I know exactly how long they have to be. It's all done through like the survey ordnance stuff. So that's pretty much as accurate as you can get from terms of distances. So I'm going to be seeing how well the Equilab does compared to all that. I'm going to be taking Dusty out, so it's just a short hack. It's only 4.75 kilometres, so just under 5k. Hopefully I don't have to go back and forward for any traffic, because obviously then that's going to skew things a little bit and I'll have to give a bit more leeway, a bit more tolerance to the results. But yeah, I'm just intrigued to see. It's not an app that I've used that often. I've used it a couple of times, but I didn't really get much out of it. So I've always used the Adidas app, and now that I've got my Garmin watch, I tend to do everything on that anyway. But I know lots of people use Equilab, and I thought it'd be quite interesting just to see if it is actually relatively accurate. I'm just gonna go grab Dusty in now, and we'll get tacked up, and then we'll go. Dusty! So as we strolled across the field, I started setting the apps up, ready to go. Georgia, Beanie and Gabby decided they wanted the limelight and did some very nice displays of synchronised rolling. Oh, Gabby, why? And after being distracted by the ponies, we were out the gate and on, and Dusty was really keen to get going. Stand. Oh, no. Right, stand, stand. No. I needed to sync the Equilab app up with my Garmin watch and the Adidas running app. So the Adidas running app has a 15-second countdown, which is really helpful. So I started that one first and waited for that to count down before starting the Equilab one and then my Garmin watch. So they were all pretty much started at exactly the same point, and then we could get going. So as we were coming up to the 1 kilometre mark, I thought I'd have a look at my phone and my watch and see how things were going. When I looked at my phone, I realised that on the lock screen there was no tab open for Equilab. So when I opened the app, it actually crashed and it had stopped recording. My other app was running fine, obviously my watch was still going, and I managed to restart Equilab just as we hit 1 kilometre. So I thought, well, okay, fine, come the end, I'll just add an extra kilometre on and we'll do it that way. So I restarted it and we carried on with the ride, and I thought, disaster averted, or so I thought. So skip forward to the 2 kilometre mark, I thought I'd better check things again, and shock horror, it had crashed again.
I think it's crashed again.
So by this point I was feeling a little bit annoyed. I had a look at what it said about why it was crashing. It directed me to a web page about stopping apps crash, which I couldn't see because I had no signal. So I was feeling a little bit deflated about it not working. But I've restarted it, I changed some settings within the app and thought we'd give it one more go and see how we got on.
Right, 3rd time lucky.
So kilometre 3 was drawing in and I dared to check my phone one last time, and of course it had crashed again. My Adidas running app was still running fine, everything else was still okay, but Equilab had crashed once again.
That's ridiculous.
I had a look at some more of the settings that are actually on my phone and went into the permissions for Equilab and managed to change some things around to get it to stay working in the background. So I restarted it and just kept my fingers crossed that this was the fix that I needed to get it to work. And it was finally working properly. So I tried to enjoy the rest of my ride in the sunshine, but when I got back I did feel a bit deflated. I'd waited so long to make this video and I didn't know when I was going to be able to do it again. I didn't know what the weather was going to be like, I had work, I had all these other things, and I felt like I'd missed my opportunity and I was just going to have to scrap the whole video, which was really upsetting. However, I was really lucky and the next day we had lovely sunshine again, so we could try again for round 2. I at least knew now that the app worked properly and that I could get Equilab to stay on. So I synced the apps up again and off we went. The aim was that by the time I got back that all 3 apps, the Garmin watch, Adidas running and Equilab, all had the same distance of around 4.75 kilometres. I was really lucky with the cars that we did pass that I didn't have to go back to a lay-by and, you know, thus make the distance slightly different, so I could be as accurate to the footpath route that I'd mapped out earlier as possible. I had the audio stats turned on for all 3, so every 10 minutes my Garmin watch would tell me my average speed.
Average speed 4.9.
And it would beep at me at every kilometre.
2k.
At every kilometre, the Adidas running app would give me a rundown of all my stats.
Distance 2 kilometers. Duration 25 minutes.
And every 5 minutes, the Equilab app would tell me how long I've been riding for, how long of that I've been walk, and how long of that I've been trot. So at least I knew it was still going because it would remind me every 5 minutes that it was actually still working, so that was good. Every kilometre I checked to see how the apps were looking in comparison to each other, and I was quite surprised. They all seemed to be doing quite well. Both apps on the phone were pretty much the same as my Garmin watch as we were going round, but I wouldn't know for definite until we got back home.
Ooh, you make me jump as well. Good girl. Oh.
So the verdict was in, and all three were pretty good actually. So the Footpath app, which was pretty much as accurate as you can get, was looking for 4.75 kilometres. The Garmin watch tracked 4.78 kilometres. The Adidas running app tracked bang on 4.75 kilometres, so that's pretty good. And Equilab tracked 4.8 kilometres. So realistically, they're all pretty good. They're all quite accurate, and as long as your phone or your watch or whatever it is you're using keeps a reasonable GPS signal throughout, I don't think you're going to have any issues with the distance side of it. So there we have it. If you have any of those apps or a Garmin watch or similar, I think you can rest assured that your distances are as accurate as they can be.